My name, and I am a FICO certified credit coach with Credit Life Financial Wellness. I'm the founder of the free credit repair advice group on Facebook. And I would like to welcome all of you, whether you're watching on a rerun or if you're watching live. I'd like to welcome you all to my Wednesday Night Live daily credit report. I do this every Wednesday evening at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time in the free credit repair advice group on Facebook. And I do this, as I said, every single Wednesday evening. So make sure to join me for more credit info and education. Now, tonight, I wanted to talk a little about something that's hitting me kind of close to home. Right now, I am in the process of selling my home and buying a new house. And so I asked my wife, I said, gee, what should I talk about tonight? And she goes, how about the joys of selling a home? And I said, you know what? Or buying a house, pardon me. I said, you know what? That sounds like a really good idea. Now, we talk a lot in the free credit repair advice group and with our clients at Credit Life. We talk a lot about mortgage readiness, being mortgage ready, and what types of things that can do for you. But we really never talk about what that means. Okay, so I want to start off at the very beginning. If you've got a goal of home ownership, or if you've got a goal of in the near future or even further down the road, getting your credit score and your credit profile in position so that you can qualify for a mortgage to purchase a house, there are a few things you're going to want to bear in mind. The first thing, obviously, when buying a mortgage, when taking out a mortgage, when buying a house, buying the largest thing that most people ever purchase in their lifetimes, obviously credit is a major consideration. And I want to go into what makes a good credit profile for you when you're going in to get a mortgage, and really the things you'll want to focus on to get your score and profile in position for your goals. So I'm going to bring up something called the FICO wheel. This is kind of a pie chart breakdown of what the FICO score, your lending score, consists of. Now, if we look at this, 35% over on the lower left hand corner, 35%, well, 35% is payment history. If you've paid on time, if you've paid at all, your payment history makes up the majority of your credit health. Now, if you have collections, if you've got late payments, things like that, that's why in the free credit repair advice group, we always advise that you start with investigations. You want to investigate the negative info, anything that's fraud, anything that's negative, anything that's wrong or simply derogatory. All the negative information on your credit report, you want to investigate with the credit bureaus. You want to send letters to Experian, to Equifax, and to TransUnion saying, hey, with all due respect, prove it. Prove it's real, prove it's accurate, prove it's up to date, prove it, prove it, prove it. And if the credit bureaus can't verify and validate and document that all of the information on your credit report is 100% accurate and up to date and current and factual and verifiable today, then that negative information gets permanently deleted from the credit profile like it never happened. Poof, gone. It doesn't mean the debt's gone. If you owe money, you owe money. But for a credit reporting position, from a credit reporting standpoint, basically, that information is gone into the ether. It's no longer standing in your way. So you'll hear us at Credit Life. You'll hear us in the free credit repair advice group always saying the first step is investigation. Why is that the first step? Again, in the lower left-hand corner, 35% of your entire credit history is made up of payment history. So doing the investigative process can go ahead and make sure that credit history is cleaned up. That's the first step. Now, the next step at the top of the chart is amount of debt. Amount of debt. But I'm going to get even more specific. What that 30% number you just saw, 30% of your entire FICO score is made up of balance to limit ratios on revolving accounts. So, Jeremy, what's a revolving account? A credit card is a revolving account. A store credit card is a revolving account. A line of credit is a revolving account. Anything that lets you charge it up, pay it down, pay it off, do it again, as long as you're happy with the bank and the bank's happy with you, it'll revolve forever. So a full 30% of your FICO score that you'll need to get a house is the balance to limit ratio that you maintain on your credit cards. Okay. So if you don't have any credit cards, Jeremy, I don't have credit cards. It's no biggie. I've got no debt. Well, that's actually bad. You're missing out on 30% of the point potential on the FICO algorithm. So what you want to do is you want to have a minimum of 2 credit cards, and you don't need to go much more than that, but a minimum of 2 credit cards. You want to have them open and active with a good payment history. You'll also want to put into your blend there one retail card. That could be a Fingerhut, that could be Target, could be Walmart, Best Buy, wherever you shop. Okay, you want 2 revolving accounts: Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Express, and Discover. You want those open and active with a good payment history. You want 1 retail card minimum, open and active with a good payment history. Now, when I said, 30% at the top here, amount of debt, 30% of your FICO score is utilization, the question becomes, what is the best usage? What's the best utilization on a credit card to add the most points to our score every month? And I guarantee you, if I ask you what's the best utilization, put it down in the comment section. Write a comment, tell me what you think the best utilization is, or let's get more interesting. Put in number 1 in the comments section. Number 1, if you've ever heard to keep your credit cards under half. Anyone who's heard that, put in number 1 in the comments section. Now, number 2, I want you to put number 2 in the comment section if you've heard. No, you want to keep your credit. Keep your credit at 30%. You want to keep it at 30% on the credit cards. If you've ever heard 50%, put a 1. And by the way, if you've heard more than 1, go ahead and put more than 1. If you heard 50%, put a 1 in the comments. If you heard 30%, put a 2. Some people like to say 10%. You want to use 10%. Hey, if you've heard 10%, put a 3. Other people say charge them up and pay them off in full every month. Who's heard that? If you've heard that, put a 4. And if you heard multiples of these, go ahead and put those numbers down. And how many people have heard for number 5, open the accounts, but don't use them, just let them sit there? Have you heard any of that? 50%, or keep it at 30%. Number 1, 50%. Number 2, 30%. Number 3, 10%. Number 4, charge it up and pay, whatever you want, charge whatever you want and pay it down every month, as long as you pay it on time. And number 5, just open them and don't use them. Now, if you've heard any of those, bless the hearts of the people who were telling you that. They're giving you misinformation. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. And we get it from bankers and mortgage loan officers and realtors and our parents and people who you would think would know. And these are people who, just because they know how to read a credit report doesn't mean they actually know how it operates, how it works, how the algorithm works. So what's the answer to the question? I gave all those variables of what's the best balance to limit ratio utilization up on top to get 30% and take control of 30% of your FICO score. There is a perfect balance to limit ratio when you're looking to build your credit. It's perfect because it's the zone, it's the region of utilization that adds the most points to your score each and every month. Now, that amount is crazy small, okay? That amount is 1% of the limit to 3% of the limit, 1% to 3%. So if we're talking about a $500 limit credit card, I'm talking about a monthly spend, a monthly average daily balance, and a monthly payment of between $5 and $15. No more, no less. Any less you broke it, any more you broke it. If you go less than $5 on that 500 card, well, that's less than 1%. Less than 1% is not considered activity, and you need activity to generate points. If you go over the 15, you go over 3%, and that's the zone, the region within the FICO algorithm that add the most points to your score every month. So if we're looking to get in position of mortgage readiness, we're looking to buy a home and raise our score as high as we can. We want to make sure that we're keeping a 1 to 3% balance to limit ratio so that we are taking total advantage up there of that 30%. Okay, these are 2 things that you can take action on. You can take action on the investigation for the history that makes up payment history 35%. And you can take action on balance to limit ratio on revolving accounts. That makes up 30%. So essentially what I'm saying is when you're getting prepared to be in the position of mortgage readiness, to get approved for a loan, to be able to buy a house, you've got control over a full 65% of your FICO score. And I promise you, that's more control than you thought you had. My guess is you thought this is complicated. Maybe I don't know how credit works. Maybe I don't know where to start. And what I'm telling you is this: you've got control. You can investigate the derogatory information. Payment history makes up 35% of your FICO score. You can maintain balance to limit ratios in that magical zone I just told you about, 1 to 3%. That'll maximize your point potential. These are two things you can do. So when it comes time to buy a house, and actually, this is a really quick, good little break. I'll tell you, if you're looking to get in mortgage position, mortgage readiness, if you're looking to buy a house, you're looking to improve your credit, if you'd like a coach, a mentor, someone to do the investigations for you, we take care of it. You don't have to worry about it. We'll do it. If you want someone to guide you down the path with step-by-step specific recommendations based on your credit situation and your goals, and make sure to mentor you, and sometimes it's just kick you in the butt and keep you motivated. If you're looking for a coach in your credit process, go ahead and go to www.bookcoachjeremy.com. Now that's my link. And on there, you can book an initial no-cost consultation. There's no cost because we haven't done anything yet. And what we'll do during the consult is we'll talk about what's on your credit. We'll talk about your goals, and we'll put together a plan and steps and action items to get your score and your profile in position for all your goals. That's www.bookcoachjeremy.com. And I'll be the first to tell you if Credit Life's good for you or if you just need some good advice, and I send you on your way. www.bookcoachjeremy.com. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, emotions and getting ready for the whole buying a home process just after this.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
All right, hey everyone, welcome back to my Wednesday night live. So I wanted to go into some more aspects and the joys and the other emotions of buying a house. I'll tell you, so the reason I'm talking about this tonight, if you're just joining us, I am selling my house. And I have just gotten an accepted offer on a new house, and we're going to be moving. So the goal of 95% of the people I work with as a credit coach, and we've surveyed the free credit repair advice group out of the almost 73,000 people there, 95% of you are looking to be in position for home ownership. And we always talk about mortgage readiness. And I talked at the beginning of the video about a couple things you can do to make sure that your credit's kind of, you've got control over 65% of your credit. I want to talk about something else when it comes to mortgage readiness. So if you take Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, FHA, VA loans, USDA loans, there are a lot of different types of mortgages out there. They're all essentially different brands, different styles of lending, but they all have a couple things in common. One thing they've got in common, all the mortgage types, is underwriting requirements, underwriting guideline requirements. In the old days, you would write a paper application up and sign your name on the paper application to apply for a mortgage. And that piece of paper and a copy of your pay stub and all the documents, all this paper would be given to a banker. That banker would take it to the underwriter. Now, that underwriter is the person who checks out the guidelines and decides whether or not to give you the keys to the kingdom. They're the ones who control the vault. They're the money people, all right? And so the underwriter is the one who is going to check the guidelines and see if you fit the guidelines or if you don't. Now, fast forward to today, the bulk of it's done on computers. There are still some manual underwrites, but they still all have underwriting requirements. Now, when it comes to your credit, there is something called a minimum trade line requirement or minimum account requirement. The minimum trade line requirement for Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, and USDA mortgage underwriting, the minimum trade line or minimum account requirement happens to be 2 revolving accounts. So credit cards, American Express, Discover, Visa, MasterCard, 2 credit cards open and active with a good, perfect payment history. They want to see One, installment account. What's an installment account? That is an auto loan. That is a student loan. That could be a mortgage. That could be any type of financing loan where you make equal monthly payments until it's paid off. And when it's paid off, it's done. Even the account self, if you don't have a installment account, there's an account I recommend called Self Lender. I actually put a link to it right there. Self Lender, what that is that's an installment savings account. You make monthly payments into this savings account, and at the end of it, you get the money. But because you've made monthly installment payments on a bank obligation, they report it to Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion as installment payments on the bank obligation. That rounds out your profile. It raises your score while you tuck money away for a down payment for the house or for a rainy day. Perfect. So that's tinyurl.com/getself. That way you know you got the right one. So the mortgage underwriter is going to want to see 2 revolving accounts. Those are credit cards, open and active with a good payment history. 1 installment account, self, a car loan, a student loan that's in repayment, a mortgage loan. And they'll want to see at least a 24-month credit depth. Now, that's time, that's history. The only way you can impact that is to do something sooner rather than later. And one of the other ways you can impact is not closing old credit cards. So if you've got some old credit cards that are basically inactive, maybe you've got a Children's Place card, or you've got I saw a gal today with a Victoria's Secret card and it's got a $300 limit on it. She goes, what am I going to buy for 1 to 3%, $1 to $3 for that? I said, do they sell lip balm? She goes, actually, I think they do. She went out, bought a lip balm, boom, gave some new activity. That was her oldest credit card. She said, oh, I was just going to let it close. I was just going to let it, I don't do a lot of shopping there. I'm going to let it close out. And I said, no, you want to use that, because the one thing we can't directly impact is time, but we can do things sooner rather than later. And we can also make sure we maintain older positive credit lines, like that gal with her Vic Secret account. Now, if you're going, but Jeremy, I don't have more than 24 months history. Maybe I got a year of credit history, but I want to buy a house in 6 months. This is why when I recommended that account balance before, I said 2 revolving, and then I said 1 store card. A store card, also a revolving card, a Finger Hut, a Target, a Walmart. Those cards are revolving accounts, and you do want to maintain good balance to limit ratios, the 1 to 3%, that magic zone to max out your point potential. But if you've got that additional account, that store account, even though Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, USDA don't require it, that can be utilized as a compensating factor. A compensating factor is something that makes up for something else not being there. Well, let's say Jeremy here only has a year and a half of credit history, but he's got those 2 revolving accounts. He's got that installment account. And look, he's got a store card that he's also maintained good. Well, look, that's additional credit information. That's additional responsible history. And that's a compensating factor that'll let us approve this loan. So it's important to have your credit profile in shape. So we talked about how to get the credit score in position. We talked about the credit profile. The next thing really becomes going out and getting pre-approved, and then going out and selecting a home. I don't know how many of you out there watching this have ever purchased a house. It has got to be the most exciting, yet stressful. I'll tell you, if I had hair, it'd be falling out right now. Stressful, chaotic time in your entire life. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than at the end of the day being able to come home to a home that's yours, where you're not paying your landlord's mortgage, right? You're not making somebody else wealthy. Instead, you're building generational wealth. You're building a home for your family. You're getting a backyard for your kids to play in. So even if sometimes this credit thing seems boring or like an uphill struggle, or, I don't know where to turn, I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do, this is frustrating, I've tried it, it didn't work, you got to stick with it, because the joys do exist. Nothing is going to be better than your kids looking you in the eyes when you gave them a backyard to play in, instead of having to go out and play in the parking lot of the apartment complex. Okay. Nothing's going to give you a better feeling to be able to say to your kids, no, we're not going to change schools again next year and the year after and the year after that. You'll be with your friends through school. You'll be at the same place through school. There are joys, there are frustrations, there is stress in purchasing a home and buying a home. But I promise you, at the end of the day, and if it sounds like I'm trying to convince myself as much as I'm trying to convince you that may be the case, at the end of the day, it's worth it. There are more joys than pains, but it's going to take effort. It's going to take work. It's going to take you maybe getting outside of your comfort zone a little bit. Maybe you've got to save money to pay down debt. I don't like eating cheap food. I like, stopping and getting my Starbucks. I like having lunch out every day. You know what? Do you like that more than you like having a backyard for your kids to play in? If your coffee's more important than your child, fantastic. I'm not going to judge you. But if getting a home for your family is more important, maybe it is going to take some sacrifice. Maybe it is going to be some tough choices. Maybe we're not going to McDonald's for Happy Meals. We might actually have to tell our children no to something so we can say yes to something much bigger. There are a lot of joys, there are a lot of emotions. There's FUD, there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I'm not going to lie to you. It's scary. Gosh, am I going to get approved? Congratulations, sir, ma'am. You're pre-approved to go purchase a home, to buy buy a house up to this. Then you're going and you're looking at houses and maybe you make a bid. Oh, I hope they take it. I hope I bid enough. I hope I didn't overbid. I hope, maybe I should have done this. Is it okay to ask for seller closing costs? And that waiting game, I found out at 4:58 this morning. 4:58 a.m. this morning that my offer on my new house was accepted, and it's been a long day. I've been up a lot of hours, but I'll tell you something. The emotional roller coaster has been crazy, but I'm not done. I'm not out of the woods. So they accepted the offer. I still have to deposit the earnest money. It's what I'm doing right after this. We have to do it in an appraisal. We hope it comes in at value. We hope their financing works. Everything, and the people buying my house, everything works perfectly. There are a lot of emotions, a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, but I promise you, it's like growing apples. We went apple picking last Saturday. Me and my wife and the little kids, we went to this orchard down in Lakeville, Minnesota. Cute little orchard, and we picked our own apples. And the thing is, they had some trees where like the Honeycrisps weren't quite ready yet, but the first Kiss apples were. And the thing is, they've got to tend to these things, and sometimes these apples are ready at different times. One apple might be ready sooner. That's just its growth cycle. One apple takes longer, but it eventually gets there. If you put in the care, you put in the love to nurture this and grow this, you eventually get the fruit. You eventually get the joy from your labors. Well, the home is the same thing. Your credit's the same thing. If you're in the group going, man, I'm seeing these people and they're posting and they're hitting 700 and I'm stuck here at 610 and I don't know what to do. The thing is, you got to push through it. I know that feeling. I know the frustration. I know the one. I get it. I've been there. Okay. And I am telling you, you just need to push through it. The fruit at the end, though these may take a little longer to grow, are going to be plenty sweet. Those are the emotions involved in this whole home buying process. I'm sure I'll have a whole bucket load of different ones by next Wednesday for you. But I wanted to talk to everyone about that a little bit because we talk about mortgage all the time. Be mortgage ready. Be mortgage ready. Come to Credit Life, we'll get you mortgage ready. But we don't talk about kind of the human side of it. And the human side is, it's frustrating. It's chaotic. It's exciting. It's joyful. It's sad. It's all these things. But like I said, like those trees that are going to take, I'm going back when the Honeycrisps are ready, by the way, in Lakeville. I love Honeycrisp apples, but they just take a little bit longer to get ready. You might be that one. You might be that later ripening fruit, but I'll tell you what, the Honeycrisps are the best apples on the trees. So work on your credit, do those investigations, work on your balance to limit ratios, get a good blend of credit accounts and ask questions in the free credit repair advice group. We call it the free credit repair advice group because we are there, professionals giving you free credit repair advice. And if you feel you need someone to hold your hand through the process, maybe do the letters for you, make sure you're making all the right moves, strategic debt settlement and reduction and strategies. That's great. Well, if you want help, or if you want to see if help's right for you, go to www, it's scrolling across the bottom of the screen, www.bookcoachjeremy.com. You're going to book a call with me. It's not super formal. It's not scary. I definitely don't judge you. We're going to talk about what's going on in your life, what your goals are. We're going to talk about what's going on with your credit. And we'll put together a plan and steps and action items you can implement to get your score and profile in position for your goals. And I'll tell you if Credit Life services are appropriate for you. Well, then I'll recommend the right ones. Otherwise, I might give you some good advice and send you on your way. Everybody's different. Everyone ripens at a different time. All the apples do. Go to www.bookcoachjeremy.com. And I'm going to wrap this up as kind of a short one. I have been up since 4 in the morning. So for the free credit repair advice group and for Credit Life, my name is Jeremy Dysock, FICO certified credit coach. Make sure you join me every single Wednesday right here in the free credit repair advice group on Facebook. You'll know the one if you're watching this elsewhere. When you go looking for it, it's got 73,000 people in. Join me every Wednesday evening at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific. Thanks a lot. I hope you have a fantastic evening. I'll talk to y'all soon.
Today, everything is impacted by credit. So it's absolutely vital to understand how credit works in order to achieve financial freedom.
This is why we started Credit Life, so that we can empower others to shift their money mindset and access better investment and credit opportunities.
We want to maximize your buying power and allow you to take control of your financial future. With our programs and strategies, we can expedite the process of improving your credit profile and credit score.
Despite what many believe, how we manage our money is far more important than how much money we make.
A lot of people are concerned about their ability to qualify for a mortgage, lowering their interest rates, or just managing their debt.
Through our coaching programs and our trademark Credit Builder Blueprint, our clients not only save money and lower their interest rates, but learn how to get out of debt and finally achieve peace of mind.
We don't just support our clients' financial goals, we educate and empower them to create long-term strategies.
If you're trying to buy a home, start a new business, get a loan, get out of debt, or just want to improve your credit score, visit us online and fill out the contact request form.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.